I'm going to read Beauty and the Beast. Once upon a time, there was a prince, and he got a knock on his door, and it was a beggar woman, and she told him, "Can I please stay the night? It's so cold, and I'll give you this beautiful rose." But he laughed because she was so ugly, and he sent her away. And she became a beautiful enchantress and said that looks aren't always what they seem. And she turned him into a horrific beast and told him that if he learned to love someone and have someone love him in return, by his 21st birthday, he would become what he used to be. In a town not far, there was a girl named Belle, and she loved to read, and she was beautiful. And there was a guy named Gaston who wanted her to marry him, but he only thought about himself and how great he was. She went home and she saw her dad, and he was building a machine, and he said that he'd hoped it would win the fair, and she told him she knew it would. So that night, he left to go to the fair, but on his way he got lost, and his horse got scared and bucked him off. But he found a castle, and nobody answered the door, so he walked inside. And that's when he found creatures that were teapots and candlesticks and even a clock, and they could talk. And they gave him something to eat and kept him warm, and he was very happy. But suddenly a beast came and locked him away for coming into the castle. Back at the village, Gaston decided he wanted to marry Belle. But she didn't want to marry him because he only thought of himself and not other people. He wasn't very nice. So she told him no, but he wouldn't listen. So she opened the door and he fell outside. And he got all yucky and muddy. Kind of funny, huh? That night, she saw her dad's horse, and she knew something was wrong, so she said, "Take me to him." And she found the castle, and she walked inside, and immediately the servants thought, maybe this is the girl that can break the spell. She found her father, and he was locked away, and then the beast came, and she said, "Please, he's old. Can you take me instead, and I'll stay with you forever?" When he agreed to it, he didn't let her say goodbye to her father. Instead, he threw her father into a coach, and the coach took him away, and she was very sad. The beast told her she could go anywhere she wanted, but she couldn't go to the West Wing. When she went to get a tour of the castle, guess what she did? She went into the West Wing. Yeah. But meanwhile, Maurice went to the village to tell them all about the beast, but they just laughed because they thought he was crazy. Meanwhile, back at the castle, when she got into the West Wing, the beast found her and he was very angry. So she ran away from him because she was scared. And she got chased by wolves. See the wolves? But the beast went after her because he knew something might happen. And he fought the wolves, but he got hurt. And so instead of leaving him there, she took him back to the castle and mended his wounds. And he smiled, and she smiled at him. She said, "Thank you for saving my life." Then they started to become friends, and they played outside, And he showed her all the books he had for her to read, and she was really happy because she likes books. And then they danced. And you know what? They started to have feelings for each other. And he asked her if she was happy. And she said she is, but she really wanted to see her dad. And so he showed her the magic mirror the enchantress gave her. And that's when she found her dad was sick and lost in the woods. And the beast told her, "You must go to your father, but take the mirror with you so you can always look back and see me." So she did. She found her father and she went home and she healed him because he was sick. Later, Gaston showed up with a mean man who was going to take her dad away because he said, "If you don't marry me, I'll make him go to the asylum where crazy people go." But she proved that the beast was real by showing them the mirror. But that didn't help things, because then everybody got really, really scared. And so they ran to the castle, prepared to fight the beast. But Mrs. Potts and Cogsworth and all the servants fought really hard, and they won. And the villagers ran away. But Gaston didn't. He found the beast, and he chased him up into the roof, and he told him, "Get up and fight." But the beast didn't want to fight. He didn't even want to live because he missed Belle so much. That's all he wanted. "No!" screamed Belle. And as soon as the beast saw her, his spirit returned, and he blocked Gaston from hurting him. He grabbed him by the neck, but he no longer wanted to hurt people, so he let him go. And Belle ran up the stairs into the beast's arm and hugged him. Gaston was angry because he wanted Belle. He was mad that she could love something so horrible. And so he stabbed the beast in the back. Feeling the pain, the beast struck at Gaston. Gaston took a step backwards, and he lost his balance, and he fell. He died. The beast took a step towards Belle, but then he collapsed because his wounds hurt so much. "At least I got to see you one last time," said the beast. "You're going to be all right," said Belle. "You have to be. I love you." In the beast's room, Lumiere and Cogsworth watched as the rose shed its last petal, and they were really upset. But then suddenly a sparkling magical light surrounded the beast. His paws became hands and feet, and he became as handsome as he ever was. But Belle didn't even know he was a prince, did she? She just loved him for who he was. And one by one, Mrs. Potts, Lumiere, Cogsworth, and all the other servants became who they used to be. The prince and Belle looked into each other's eyes. As they kissed, they knew that they would live happily ever after. The end. I love you, Abigail. I know this was short, but tomorrow night you'll be with me, and I can read you as many stories as you want. I love you, and I love you, Jonathan, if you see this, so very much. Good night.